Next on the program, we're heading towards sort of the middle second part of the program quickly, is our residence head, Spurgeon Wilson. Spurgeon, are you around? Bud?
I'm indeed. Hello, Annie.
Right, over to you.
Hi, baie dankie. Goeienaand meneer, dit is groete hier vanuit Wilgenhof. Dit is regtig lekker om saam met julle te wees vanaand. Ek dink dit is 'n meeting wat ons regtig nodig het om net weer met mekaar in te check. So ek het 5 minute saam met almal. And I just want to do a brief reflection. So firstly, thank you to Nico, to Ernie and the Wilgenhof Bond for this opportunity. Meneer, so allow me to reflect with you just on the last year. So 1st of September 2020 is actually the first year as residence head. And what a year it was for me, and I think for Wilgenhof as well. And I just want to invite you to just reflect with me on what happened during this year. A year I think that demanded introspection for myself, but I think for Wilgenhof as well, reflection, and I think that demanded action. And I want to highlight some of the events that happened over the last year, and I want to just question some of them and to ask where that event takes us, and hopefully will take us. So, meneer, when I arrived here in 1st of September, I arrived as a Willows boy. Ek het altyd gesê dit is die plek wat my geshape het. Hier kom ek as 'n kleerlingseun in Wilgenhof, en is 'n plek wat my lewe absoluut verander het sonder dat ek actually geweet het hoe dit sou verander het. And when I came here on 1st of September as residence head, the only goal I had was to ensure that everyone that comes after me and that comes into Wilgenhof now has similar experiences that I had. So it was not to ensure that we do new things, that things just need to change. So hulle sê mos nuwe besems weer skoon. That was not my idea. But I want ek wil dit in 3 punte vervat wat my doel was om toe ek hier kom. Firstly was to ensure that Wilgenhof is a space that all of us, current residents and alumni, can really be proud of. When I left here in 2010, I was proud of the space. I was proud of Willows. I was proud of how Willows saved me. A place that delivers brilliant minds, brilliant human beings. Secondly, I really wanted with the Haka and with our leadership to ensure that it is a place where we can be ourselves unashamedly. And I think Edwin just alluded to it, that he could be himself unashamedly. And to ensure that Wilgenhof is a space like that. And thirdly, to ensure that it is a community that stays relevant, that we understand where we're at in our country, in the world, and that we stay relevant with those times. But I think what captures what I've said is just to ensure that we all have this experience of being yourself, of having an awesome experience and leaving this space enriched. And that is what Wilgenhof did for me. And I want to ensure that we continue that space. So with those goals in mind, we started last year with a new Haka just to look at where are we? What do we need to do to ensure that we get closer and even more closer to what we have envisioned? So last year we started with our new house committee, reviewing and looking at our welcoming. So quite a lot of discussions had happened. We needed to review the way that we do welcoming, needed to do or review the way that our wise men interacted. We needed to look at the intimidation factor. We needed to look at pink suits. Is die pink suits nog relevant? Is daar pink suits? Hoe gaan ons na die pink suits kyk? That discussions happened with the university last year. We had to look at whether there is relevance for the drinking, the intimidation. So we started conversations which excited me as a space who always critically thinks, and that's Wilgenhof. And then welcoming happened at the beginning of this year, after we had all of that discussions. And then quite soon the university said, you need to put your wise men on hold for a while. So it seems, and the questions then came up, did the work that we tried to do not work? Is it not enough? So other than that, we had to tweak the wise men. We had to review the whole idea how we do pink suits. And now obviously you can think with all of this, with the haka and with myself, we're like, what does this all mean? Where is this all going? Then we had to review quite a few things, and I must commend our haka for jumping in and doing new things, adapting quite quickly. Then after this whole idea of tweaking, then you all know, then we had a letter from a parent describing the experiences of some of one of the first years. And we also have some other experiences that transpired. Then we had, based on mostly that letter and mostly some of the experiences, we had the university temporarily suspending our house committee, which was unfortunately a huge blow for us. And then memes circulated, anti-GBV marches happened that questioned quite a lot of things that happened in Wilgenhof. And this made me ask, what the hell is happening? And then when I looked at our archives and when I looked at what's happened, it is not the first time that things like this happened to Wilgenhof. And it's basically just another call for us to say, we need to reflect again. We need to go back to our ground principles. And with this reflection, there was one question that within a little meeting that I held to explain this to the House, I was asked, Spurgeon, are you willing to fight for willows? So the question is, are you willing to fight for the space that shaped you, that shaped so many others before and after you? And I think the answer for me was not, are you willing to fight? The question is, what do we need to do to ensure that we bring the Wilgenhof back, that we are proud of a space that we want to fight for? And what is that? And I think what we've all alluded to, I think it's Edwin and Leroux and all of Nico has said it. It is yet again just to go back to, are we relevant? What do we need to do to ensure that the willows that we all love is just adapting to time where we're at? So it's not new. It is just another opportunity for us to go and look inwards again. And I think my key reflection with all of these events, other than feeling very sorry for myself and the House Committee, I think the reflection was, gentlemen, times has changed and times will change and things must change. Experiences are different and experiences will be different, but it's about how we respond to it. It's about embracing that. And although it was tough, I must say I commend our bond management. I must commend the previous House Committee, the House, for stepping up and saying it's tough times, but we want to ensure that the Wilgenhof that we believe in becomes better, becomes a space that's inclusive, and becomes a space where we critically look and critically reflect on what we do. And that's why we had our culture review internally. That is why we had a renewal committee, everyone jumping in to ensure that we do our part. And a final reflection is then, what do we have to do when things like this happen? And it's inevitable. It is to ensure that we reflect and that we recommit ourselves continuously. Recommit ourselves to the ground principles, die grondbeginsels, wat absoluut belyn is met die beginsels van die universiteit en die beginsels van ons land, maar ons moet ons commit om seker te maak dat ons praktyke en die experiences wat ons studente het, belyn met dit. En meneer, vanaand wil ek sê, om te antwoord die vraag wat aan my gevra is, eintlik deur ons huidige prim, sal ek veg vir Wilgenhof. Dit gaan vir my meer as dit. Dit gaan om seker te maak dat ons hierdie Wilgenhof vorentoe vat, want dit is 'n plek wat toonaangewend is. Maar ons moet net so 'n bietjie reflect en ons moet net so 'n bietjie seker maak dat ons in voeling is met waar ons is. Meneer, en ek commit myself hieraan, en ons het nuwe leiers. We have new leadership that was elected. That's exceptional as well. Especially as well, even our previous leadership, exceptional people. And I know with them and with you as our bond and bond members, we will ensure that Willows goes from strength to strength. And ek wil vir almal hier vra vanaand is, help ons, dat ons seker maak, check in met ons, om seker te maak dat ons hierdie legacy van Wilgenhof nie net aan die gang hou nie, maar verbeter soos tyd aangaan. Meneer, die vraag was ook, is die plek nog in sy moer? Ek dink die plek is nou nog eers in sy moer, want ons is regtig besig om in tye in te beweeg, wat ek dink, wat Wilgenhof gaan shape vir altyd, maar ook die residence community. Meneer, dankie vir die vertroue in my en die HK. Dankie vir die ondersteuning van die bond se kant af. En meneer, ons is hier en dankie dat ons ook weet dat ons op julle kan staat maak. Dankie meneer.
Right. Spurgeon beautifully said, I honestly think very few people could say it better. Thank you for that. I do also want to point out, en ek dink is moe so belangrik, excuse vir die taal, that he's reflected on the year and neglected to say that he got engaged, which is concerning. But Spurgeon, we with you, mate, every step of the way.